of spirits and ghosts, and I'm not sure what other terminology I can use, John. But let me bring you back and say first again, thank you so much for joining me. I wanted to ask you, as we're talking about all these ghost stories, I said it before the break, it is a little scary and kind of, hooby-gooby type of stuff, but it really is a serious research field that you are involved in, and you're getting this evidence. Do you have a personal opinion about what you're catching on camera?
Well, I do believe that on camera we can catch the spirit of a dead person, someone who has passed, who has simply not moved on. For whatever reason that might be, I do believe that people can capture that on film. And I think it's because that's simply an energy. And just like any energy, film is mainly there to capture energy. That's what the photographs are. So I believe that film and video can actually capture the energy that's out there.
Now, why is that? I mean, is there something special about today's cameras versus old cameras, or has this kind of been captured on film with all sorts of different cameras, which shows that it's not the type of camera we're using? I mean, skeptics, I'm sure, will say, oh, well, the orbs are the way that a digital camera might take a picture, or this mist will be quite possibly a smudge on the camera lens, or. I mean, skeptics will always have a debate. Do you have a response to critics like that? I mean, what really is the tell-all that, hey, look, these objects are really there, we're capturing them on film, and you can't dispute it?
Yeah, it's actually interesting because it isn't just limited to one type of camera or one digital camera over a traditional film camera. The photographs have been showing up for years, and, even way back to the first cameras, things were showing up on them. So as far as, skeptics who like to try to limit things to categories, you can't really do that with a ghost photography because it really shows up on multiple types of cameras and multiple types of equipment.
Now, one of the biggest arguments to some of the ghost pictures with facial features, where it did look like a person was standing there but was a ghostly image, was that it was a double exposure on the film, that there were two pictures kind of put together on one frame of film, and you kind of get that ghostly image. Now, today's cameras, or most of our cameras anyway, are using digital technology to where we're not using film, and I'm not trying to be a camera expert, nor do I pretend to even know that much about them, but we're not using film, and I think that double exposure argument can go away. Are you still, correct me if I'm wrong, first of all, but secondly, are you still seeing these facial features and characteristics of a spirit captured on a digital camera?
Yes, we are actually. The digital cameras, digital cameras of today are actually much more sophisticated, obviously, than the older cameras, and they do capture just as much, if not more. A lot of people think about the computer technology that goes into the digital cameras, and sometimes that can actually help. And you get more from a digital camera than you would from a traditional camera because the computer technology is there to filter out things that should be filtered out. So when you get something strange, it's even more interesting.
Now, can people download these photographs and videos that you've taken on your investigations?
They can actually go on to our website and view our gallery. And we have several photographs in the gallery from our investigations over the years.
Awesome. And again, for those who missed it, SGRA-media.org. Definitely check out the Smoking Gun Research Agency. Download those photos. Do you have any opinion on the orb photos now, moving right along with the photographic evidence? You said there's a huge debate behind it. And for those of you who don't know, orbs are these balls that appear in photographs, and I'm guessing moving footage as well. Is that right, John?
Yeah, that is right. And there is a huge debate over it because people claim that a lot of it's dust and not actual spirit photography. But I think there's some debate over it, making it interesting when you only have one or two orbs in a photograph rather than many. And when you have many, then it looks like it could be dust. But when you only get one or two, it makes you question it a little bit more.
Absolutely does. Jon Nowinski from the Smoking Gun Research Agency. Again, that website, in case you miss it, sgra-media.org. And you can link to it right from blackvaultradio.com. where some of you might be listening to this broadcast. Make sure you visit his website, download some of those photos and videos from his investigations. Interesting and sometimes even scary stuff. Mr. Jon Nowinski coming right back on the Black Vault Radio. Stay tuned. And welcome back to the Black Vault Radio. I'm your host, John Greenwald Jr., joined with Mr. Jon Nowinski from the Smoking Gun Research Agency. Visit him online, sgra-media.org. John, been interesting and fascinating so far with your ghost investigations. I wanted you to just finalize the thought, though, on the orbs before we move on. So do you believe, I know I kind of asked you this before, but really kind of simple. Do you believe that the orb entity on the photos are spirits?
I do believe that some of them are.
Awesome. Okay, that I just wanted to clear up because I know there's a huge debate, so I wanted to get that from you. And along with the ghost and paranormal investigations that you do, you not only do the spirit investigations, but you do unidentified flying objects or UFOs as well. Would you say that you do more UFO investigations than ghosts, or vice versa?
It's actually about even. We really get a lot of both of them being reported to us. So it's really about even with the UFOs and the ghosts. Depending on what time of the year it is, we get occasionally we get more ghost reports than we do anything else.
Now let's talk about your UFO investigations. We've talked a lot about MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network, in the past, and you said that you share your data with them, which I think is fantastic. Collaboration in this field is absolutely needed from agencies like MUFON and yourself. You're doing an excellent job out there. Let me ask you, what do you do in a UFO investigation?
Well, in a UFO investigation, we mainly do the documentation, which is talking to the witnesses and getting the eyewitness testimony down. As I said, we don't do too much of the field work, which we leave mainly to MUFON with the trained investigators in the field. So what we do is more of the documentation and the collection of the data and keeping that in track so that if we get somebody that's reporting a particular UFO, we can look back into our database and see if we've ever gotten reports that are similar to that.
Now, do you see a lot of convincing evidence that sends Jon Nowinski over the edge saying, yes, I believe, or what are you seeing out there? Or hearing, I should say.
Oh, well, I'm hearing and seeing a lot of convincing evidence. A lot of these people who report the UFOs are, completely normal people with, completely average jobs, average lives. None of them are these crazy kooks that you hear about all the time on TV. And, to me, that really makes it more interesting when you have the average person who really has no, reason to make anything up, no scientific background to really try to create a hoax. Mm-hmm. And you get those people reporting these things, and, they're reporting them because they honestly feel that, they have something to report.
Now, you brought up an interesting point, the kooks that you don't see on, or that you see on television. I'm a big advocate for saying that the media truly hurts this topic, the UFO topic, and that's both print and news. Now, not every news story, and again, print and television news, hurts the topic, but I would say a vast majority. Do you agree with that?
I would, yeah. I think that the media has really been pretty downplaying on the whole phenomena aspect of UFOs. And, of course, as you said, you occasionally get a good report in the news media or on TV, but generally a lot of the shows that are out there are, a little biased towards it, and a lot of the media reporting is the same thing.
It is the same thing, and that same thing is usually just a crack against people like yourself and myself and people who are really into this topic, and yet you have video evidence to back up what you're saying, photo evidence to back up what you're saying, a lot of field work backing up what you're saying and supporting your research, and yet they dismiss all of it. Do you think that will ever change?
I hope so, but I think it will. I think it's starting to. I see it starting to change a little bit, but it's going to be a very slow change. Mm-hmm.
Have you yourself had media? Well, I'm sure you have media publicity for the Smoking Gun Research Agency.
Yeah, we've had some pretty good publicity over the years. you know, I live in a small town, so the small town papers have always covered things that we've done. And they've done so, you know, unbiased, and they've really been interested in the work that we've done.
Mm-hmm. Now, what do you think is behind